Pork Chops here, and we are back at it yet again with another video for you guys. And as promised, I told you I would be back on the Honda Rebel 500 for you guys. And we might need a little bit of dead dinosaur here in just a little bit, but we'll worry about that later. We'll go to K. Roger or Kroger for you normal folks. Maybe just a little bit later and get some gas. Okay, I had to make sure I was recording there for a second. Now, and I feel like with my new camera placement, I don't know if you guys will be able to see over the bars. I'm not entirely too sure. I hope you guys can see over the bars just fine and whatnot. So, but I had a topic I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and that topic is, should you buy a Honda Rebel 500 or should you get the Harley Davidson 883 or the Sportster as it's known? So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I saw something on Facebook that got me thinking, which one is the better beginner bike, or which one has more power, more torque, or kind of in that sense. And it just got me thinking, so is the Honda Rebel 500 for you, or are you leaning more towards the Harley 883? And we'll get into that. And just to give you guys a little bit of a background, I'm kind of one of those Harley slobs where, hey, better if it's not a Harley, it ain't it. Nah, just kidding. I do prefer riding my Harleys over my Rebel on certain days, but sometimes I prefer riding the Honda Rebel, like today. Even though I promise you guys I'd ride it for my next video, just sometimes I prefer riding this too. Like if I'm just scooting around a long town, you know, just things like that. But we're getting off topic. But like I said, I'll give you a little bit of my background on it. And so, first ever motorcycle I ever owned was a Harley Davidson 48, which is a Sportster. It is a 1200 series. So you have the 883s, the 1200s, and then you have the 72. But the 72 is also a 1200, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there because I'm so used to riding my Harley where I've only got 5 gears, as the Honda Rebel has 6, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. So yeah, which one is going to be more of a beginner bike, or which one's going to be more suited for you? And we'll start off with this. We'll just go ahead and I will give you my opinion on which one I think is better. And honestly, both. And I know you're thinking, well, wait, Mrs. Pork Chops, how can both be better? And it's simple. It's all dependent upon the rider, so to speak. And I enjoy both because I've owned both. I own a Sportster, not an 883. I've ridden an 883, but I've ridden a Sportster for years before I had graduated on up into the big boy league, as so to speak. So we'll go ahead and throw that out there up front, my opinion. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. The Honda Rebel 500, I believe MSRP is about 5 or 6 grand depending on where you live and how much you can get it for. I believe I got my Honda Rebel 500 before I started customizing it because it looks nothing like this. You can simply type in a Google search image of what a stock Honda Rebel looks like. If you check out any of my older videos, you can see what a stock Honda Rebel looks like. Well, I believe MSRP is anywhere between 5 to 6 grand, like I said, depending on where you live, versus the Harley Davidson 883, which is going to run you anywhere from 7 to 8 grand MSRP. Once again, depending on where you live, because sometimes things like that can go into play, your finances and things of that nature. Well, finances isn't going to change the MSRP, but just depending upon where you live. I believe they're running anywhere in that range. So that's price wise. So Honda Rebel, you know, you're up 1 point. Ding on the ding bell right there. Now, the second thing we have to talk about is comfortability. And I think that, you know, besides price wise, I think my second most important thing that has to be for me is how comfortable am I going to be on a motorcycle. Now, we'll start with the seats. I think on both the 883 and the Honda Rebel, the stock seats are shit. And I'm a small person. I sit at 5'2", 104 pounds on a good day since I don't work out anymore. And even my ass would go numb. When I went to Detroit, and I'll stick a little annotation up there, when I went to Detroit on this bad boy, my ass was through. About maybe 4 hours into the ride, my ass started going numb. And that's on the Honda Rebel. On my 883, my ass would go numb. It'd probably be after about the 5 or 6 hour mark, but just those maxi pad stock seats. Now, I haven't ridden an 883, a Sportster, in years now, so I don't know if the seats have changed over the years. When I owned my Sportster, that was back in, gosh, I want to say maybe 2012? 2012 maybe is when I had it. We're now in 2019, so yeah, it's a bit. So Harley could have changed a lot of specs and dynamics about it. So like I said, we've got the price point, which is going to be one of the biggest things for me. And then the second thing is going to be comfortability or comfortability. Gosh, I can't speak today, guys. I apologize about that. With that being said, the handlebars. Now, I believe 883s nowadays come with either 8-inch or 10-inch handlebars, while the stock Honda Rebel comes with, I think, 6-inch handlebars. And guys, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, so please do your own research and just don't. I'm going purely off the top of my head if I can remember these things correctly. So if I'm wrong, by any means, please post down in the comments and let me know, hey, Mrs. Porkchops, you're a dumbass. This is the height of the handlebars. But yeah, I want to say the Honda Rebel was, gosh, it might be 6 or 8 inches. So I'm going to have to give a point to the 883 on when it comes to comfortability, because I know before I got my T-bars, which you see here now on my bike, before I got that, you know, my back and my shoulders would just completely just be crushed by the end of it. Next, let's get into the whole V-twin or dual parallel, I believe it's what it's called, parallel twin, dual twin, whatever motor. So you have the V-twin engine on the 883. The awesome and shitty part all at the same time is you're gonna get that classic Harley Davidson frickin' rumble. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you've ever seen that South Park episode where the you know what I'm talking about. You know, guys coming through town, whole place is vibrating. You're gonna get that with a V-twin. With the, gosh, I'm sorry guys if I'm butchering this, but with the parallel twin motor, you're not getting that. You're not getting that rumble. The good thing is there's less vibrations, and you're not gonna frickin', you know, vibrate your whole goddamn bike apart. Your whole body's not gonna fall apart, and you're not gonna be hurting after riding a few hours or maybe even 30 minutes. I know that when I first got back on a Harley again after years of not riding a Harley, after about 30 minutes of riding, everything in my body was just freaking vibrating. I was like, holy hell, what is going on? All right, we're gonna go here. So you're not gonna get that on the Honda Rebel 500. Going back to the motor, one of the downsides to owning an 883 is that it is air cooled. Now, it sounds all good and nifty when you're moving and going, but when you go to places like, i.e. Daytona Bike Week, or say you live in a city where it's bumper to bumper traffic, like New York City, Atlanta, you know, major cities like that, you're gonna have a bad fucking day. Because your bike's going to be overheating, your legs are going to get hot, your body's going to get hot, your bike's going to be like, please give me some air so I can cool down. I've only ever had a Harley shut down on me once from just overheating, and that's because I went to what we call Black Bike Week, which is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. And we were just in that bumper to bumper traffic going up and down the strip, and my bike finally said, hey, fuck you, I've had enough. So that's one downside to having that. The upside to the Honda Rebel 500 is that this bad boy is liquid cooled. It has a radiator on it. So when this bitch starts getting hot, that motherfucker kicks on, and I haven't had a problem since. This is actually the first bike I've ever owned that's had a radiator, and I haven't had any issues. Now with that being said, you have to put the fluid in there to make sure it's good, but I just do that with service. And speaking of which, yeah, it's almost time to get that 8,000 mile service here soon. So that's one thing to consider on, you know, whether you want to get the 883 or the Honda Rebel 500. Next, let's talk about power. Let's talk about torque and power. So with the Honda Rebel 500, you know, it says it's 500, but I think the displacement ends up being like 471 cubic inches, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have the 883. Please don't ask me what the cubic inches are. Like I said, guys, I'm going purely off the top of my head, and I do not have a photographic memory, so even if I read that shit, I would have forgot it. So you don't have as much torque on the Honda Rebel 500 as you would the 883. Now, with the 883, you only have 5 gears. On the Honda Rebel 500, you have 6 gears. Now, honestly, I don't know why the Honda Rebel 500 has 6 gears, because you get most of your power by the time you get to the 5th gear. That 6th gear is just kind of cruising. Maybe I answered my own question if I'm remotely right. Like I said, I'm not a very smart person sometimes. I don't know. While the 883, you're only going to have 5 gears on it. Also, with that being said, I don't know about newer models. When I had my Sportster, like I said, once again, it was an 883, it was a 1200, but it's basically almost the same, just the engine displacement's higher. I did not have a gear indicator. Just like with the Honda Rebel 500, this does not have a gear indicator. Honestly, if you're fucking riding, you don't need one. That is my opinion. You shouldn't be having to look down, hey, what gear am I in? Know your bike, learn your bike, feel your bike. That comes with time, practice, and riding. I know what gear I'm in, or I can know what gear I'm in just by the RPMs I've got going on. Just like, hey, I've downshifted too many times. So on that one, it's a bit of a draw on which one's going to be better. And let's talk about, in my mind, one of the biggest things that sets both bikes apart. And that has to be how fucking heavy and or light the bikes are. Now when it comes to the Honda Rebel 500, this is by far the lightest bike in my entire life I have ever owned. I can take this bad boy, I can fucking knee drag if I really wanted to. Like, this bike is just super lightweight and nimble. Now I'm not saying that Harleys aren't nimble, because they are nimble bikes, but this this motherfucker right here, I feel like if a gust of wind was to come through right now, it would take me off into outer space and I would go flying. That's how light I feel with this bike. With the 883, it is a heavier bike, man. I'm telling you, Harley just makes their shit out of all metal. I'm telling you, just all freaking metal. And then it's just, I don't even know if it's all metal or not. That's just how it feels. So yeah, like I said, just going back to my earlier statement, which one you should get, it's really dependent upon the rider. Get both if you can. I am a proponent that everybody should be able to ride every motorcycle known to man. If I could own every bike ever made out here, I'm telling you, I freaking would. I just really, really would. I don't know why I'm going this way. I guess we're riding through the hood right now. You know, speaking of turning into the hood, looking at the gear indicators, That is what I hate about metric bikes, and that's what the Honda Rebel 500 is, a metric bike. What I hate about it is that your gear indicator is on one freaking hand. So I'm so used to riding a Harley where, you know, your left blinker's on your left controls, your right blinker's on your right controls, and it's just easier done that way. Not to mention it auto shuts off for you on a Harley. I guess when you're spending a little bit more money, that guy didn't know where he wanted to go. Left blinker on and then turn right. But anyway, I guess when you're spending more money, it has that auto shut off for you. That's just me nitpicking just a little bit. I'm gonna come up here to the old wheelie spot. Just can't do wheelies here anymore. They turned this building into like a mental health center, and there's all these cars parked out here now, so it's a bit depressing. It's very depressing. Oh, I miss you, wheelie spot. I really, really do. I don't even know how I ended up on this side of town, man. Talking to you guys got me all jacked up. I didn't mean to come to this side of town at all. At all. But yeah, I'll give you guys a quick once-over of what my Honda Rebel 500 looks like. Even though I do have a video posted up already about it. But, yeah. This is my bad boy. She's maroon. She looks a little purple right now because the sun's not here. She's actually like a candy apple maroon. But this is what I've done to her. I've got her painted. She's got the Corbin seat because my ass, like I said earlier, just would go numb with the stock seat. I've got the Shinko 777 white wall tires, which my bike is completely dirty. I have the Harley Davidson HD quarter fairing. I've got fork boots on that have a mind of their own and like to slide down, and then I have a hard time getting them up. Two Brothers Racing exhaust pipe, and then I threw a bunch of decals and stickers on there to just make it pop. So, and then I cannot forget my Steady Garage T-bars. These are 12-inch T-bars if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and then I changed out, I would show you my rear license plate bracket, but I want to get my license plate in the video. I don't feel like editing to blur that out. But yeah, so this is my bad girl. So I don't know, you guys tell me down in the comments down below, which one do you think is better, the Harley Davidson 883 or the Honda Rebel 500? So just tell me. But yeah, guys, I wanted to make a little quickie for you because, like I said, I saw that Facebook post and just had a thought about it. So you guys tell me down in the comments down below if you've ever owned both or which one do you prefer. Like I said, I prefer to have both. I like both. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to hit that like button or that dislike button if you didn't like what the fuck I had to talk about. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. First and foremost, hit that notification bell for me too. And I will see you in the next one.